So finally, I've completed my third sketchbook, which had been started on the June of 2021 and was just waiting to be completed and showcased to the world. Anyway, welcome to my sketchbook tour. This is my third sketchbook officially. I have a bunch of sketchbooks that I had before, but this is the third official sketchbook that I started. So welcome to the tour, and this is the first page and the planning of it. I had even made a video on this if you want to go check that out. It's basically just a welcome page, the first page of a sketchbook, and yeah, it's just a little welcome. And I really love this piece of art that I've made. It's something different and it's something unique. It's one of honestly the best pieces in this sketchbook, and I wrote the date I started and all of that, and it was kind of inspired by Art Nouveau. Anyway, that's that, and this is the second page, which is the complete opposite of the first page. And yep, that's that. And this is the third spread, which is one of my most favorite ones because of this little oil painting that I did when I first got my oil paints, and it just kind of looks really nice. I just got the oil paints and I was I need to test them out. I need to paint this peony that I saw on Pinterest or something. And then I just kind of, decided to draw a character based off that and do a little collage that matched with the whole vibe and the theme. Actually, the collage is something that I did, for, completing the spread, almost after the sketchbook was done. But yeah, this is, the next page. And this is, just kind of a studies page. I drew, a random study and, see how my art style was. And the other two are from Pinterest, where I tried to draw a face accurately. And then this is the next page, where I actually had a lot of art block, but somehow I ended up making one of the, best drawings or sketches that I've ever made, because it has such a meaning or a story or something, and it's such a mood, because art block is real, you guys. And for those of you going through it, this is just a little letter that I wrote to you and to myself. If I'm ever facing it in the future, you can just pause the video and read that. But the favorite thing about this drawing is that was literally what I was doing that day, and also it has this little cup on it that says just breathe, and actually that's what you should do. Anyway, this is the next page, and as I said, I was having art block, so there isn't a lot going on here. And that little drawing I stuck in was actually stuck in after I finished the sketchbook, because it was looking kind of blank. And I even wrote something that said, "Yep, I drew that in a hurry." In case anyone was wondering, how could a person that draws so well draw like that? Man, I had art block. But anyway, that was just some planning and everything, and this is the next thing. And this is also one of my favorite spreads. Actually, it wasn't one of my favorites until I drew that little realistic study of a tart, and also completed the spread with this kind of landscape painting. It was actually done with acrylics, and before the sketchbook tour, it was kind of incomplete. It just had a few green lines and strokes here and there, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and complete this with reference or without reference, and it kind of turned out decent. Not the most realistic or the best thing, but it kind of looks good. And this is a little note I wrote to myself about the experience I had in painting this thing. Quote unquote, something is better than nothing, and this is the chaotic landscape I didn't even use a reference for. LOL. Anyway, that was that spread, and this is the next one. It's filled with kind of sketches. So actually that first quarter that you might not even be able to see is me trying to do fashion designs and stuff. And then the next one is a drawing from Pinterest, and the other one is my cousin's drawing, actually featuring my cousin, and I was just kind of helping her draw a dream that she had, and I was helping her draw the hair and all of that. Now, this drawing is also one of my favorites in this sketchbook, but I must say I faced a bit of difficulty, not a bit, it's quite a lot of difficulty while painting this, because this paper in the sketchbook is not watercolor paper, and it really cannot handle watercolor, so I experienced some tearing and kind of unsatisfactory things going on, but I pushed through, and after 3 hours or so I got it done. I have a video on that if you want to check that out. And this next page is what I call energetic chaos, which is actually me trying to complete folk art with oil pastels that didn't turn out that well. But anyway, this is the next spread that I absolutely love. Not just because the drawing looks good, but because I'm kind of emotionally attached to it. It's just about two BFFs just kind of hanging out and having some fun. And talking about BFFs, this painting that I did on the left is actually a painting me and my BFF did during COVID-19 through Zoom. and yeah, it just brings back memories of my younger days. I can't say childhood days because I'm pretty much still a child, but yeah. And to complement this whole friendship page, I even wrote a quote that says, "True friends are never apart, maybe by distance, but never by heart." And also that washi tape was given to me by a friend, so yeah, just so you know. And this is a drawing that I actually did for a video where I was redrawing my old art. And it was also kind of like a Halloween special. Now, this next page is like just sketches and a bit of tiny little bit of art block and just me experimenting. More art block, and this page, the donut and that little study is like stuck in after the sketchbook was completed. I have a lot of like stick-ins in this sketchbook because I tend to not use the left side of almost all of my sketchbook pages in the sketchbook because I don't want to ruin the drawing on the other side. So yeah, that's another stick-in from a video that I did earlier, and just some random drawings. Now the next page we have like a little like drawing like for guilty pleasure / kind of fashion design, and a bit of like experimenting with lettering, and it's not calligraphy, I would just say lettering, and planning for another video. Now this is a study from one of Fifal's drawing. I'm like a huge fan of hers. I just absolutely love the way she colors and the textures that it gives to her drawings and all of that. Then just random 2 characters I did in graphite, just a close-up if you want it. One is happy, the other is kind of sad. And just take a look at this spread because it's another one of my favorites if you didn't guess it already, because it has this whole like color scheme of green and orange going on, and that's actually a little kind of planning I did for an art contest. A fan art drawing of Aurora. I know it doesn't look like her, but I just kind of try to have fun. And now this drawing is actually like one of my favorites because it was kind of based off this kind of poem or something they have in children's book called The Queen of Tarts Who Lost Her Tarts. I mean, that's not the title of it, but that's like the whole concept. And the other ones, the drawing on the top is like just a random experimental drawing that I really had fun with. I even have a video on that actually, so you can check that out if you want to. The next page is another study of one of Loisha's paintings. Again, I'm a huge fan of her, so I really love the way she draws hair, so yeah. This is an incomplete drawing, actually based off one of Taylor Swift's songs. I really wanted to complete it, but I just kind of never got to it, and I didn't want to kind of ruin the sketch or anything, even though there isn't much of it. But anyway, this is the next page, and I have like a little like winter outfit thing going on, again for a video, and I have on the left side a picture that I was really inspired by, and I surrounded it with this washi tape that I just recently got. Now, this page is kind of one of those spreads dedicated to fashion design. I mean, like, I was just kind of bored, and I ended up drawing a bunch of designs on tissue paper during tea time, and that's literally what I stuck in with sellotape on the left, if you were wondering. So yeah, that's proof that you can pretty much draw on anything if you want to, including tissue paper. Anyway, this is the next page that was dedicated for a Christmas video, if you didn't figure that out already. I really love this spread because I actually kind of put in the effort to make it look like a spread, and the thumbnail that you had seen earlier was actually for that video. Now this next page is just chaotic, and the thing that I see on the right, I felt like I ruined it because it was supposed to be like a capture of me on my vacations, and I tried to complete it after the sketchbook was done, but it doesn't look that great. And this page is another page filled with sketches and me being kind of frustrated with school and wondering about grades and all of that. Just for information, I do not get F grades, just, but I was, the anxiety that comes with like, I have to get good grades, or like I have to study, oh my god, and all this and all of that. Anyway, this is the next spread with like filled with studies. I love doing studies because like, you really get to like see what the other artist is doing and learn from the masters basically, and also it's just kind of like a fun kind of brainless way for you to just draw something. You don't have to think about how their hair is going to look like or what their pose is going to be. You're just drawing, you're just kind of studying something, so that's also kind of really relaxing to do. This drawing is also one of my absolute faves. Like, I just love the rendering on this, and like this is actually for a video where I was like, hey guys, I am back from this little break that I took. I had to take that break, because I was talking about studying a few minutes ago, and I basically took that break for studying for my exams because I had to. Now this next page is another incomplete drawing plus a little drawing that I did when I was like feeling bored. This is another spread where I was just kind of like experimenting with stuff, trying to draw like a city view and a random tree with oil pastel. Now, this is another one of my favorite paintings I did in this sketchbook. It's done with acrylic, and I really tried to experiment with like different mediums in this sketchbook, and I'm really proud of that. Also, this was for a video called Sketchbook Ideas, so if you want any sketchbook ideas, you can go ahead and check that out. But yeah, the idea is kind of already written there, and you can see it. It's called Flower Characters, and yeah, I really love the way I went ahead and rendered this kind of acrylic painting. I do not work with acrylics, I just do like watercolor or markers, but yeah, I kind of like how this turned out. And the drawing that you're gonna soon see on the left side is another little feature of one of my cousins. She was like 5 or 4 when she drew that, and she just needed a place to draw. And this is a little portrait of my brother when he was younger, just a random drawing. And now this is also an acrylic painting where I was kind of just experimenting and having fun. I did this skin tone with like markers and the rest with acrylics. I kind of really love how it turned out. I mean, something's better than nothing again. Now, this was actually a little kind of birthday card I made for my BFF on her 15th birthday. This is a random spread that I love, which is kind of just filled with sketches, but like it looks kind of cohesive because of the red and the blues used. This is a painting acrylic again, that I did for like a painting class. I do not love the way the apple turned out because it does not look like an apple, and I was really struggling to make it look like one. But I love the expressive background that's going on there. I actually even used the excess paint from that painting or session to like paint my bullet journal. Here is my bullet journal if you wanted to see. And I just kind of love how it's expressive and kind of just experimenting really. Now on this page, even though the drawings are like not defined, I just kind of really love the way I composed them. It was from a trip that I went on actually. And I don't know if you can tell those colored things are trees, but well, I was just kind of trying to draw the night sky. But anyway, this next page is a drawing that I drew when I was kind of like bored during history class. Okay, so I wasn't really bored, but I was done with my work and I saw this really beautiful illustration in my history textbook, and I was like, I need to draw this. So I drew it, and I also went over it with a gold marker, and I wrote this little quote. It says, "As long as she guards the Rhine, nothing can harm us." So pretty, right? Ooh, okay, so this page is one of those pages that's inspired by Taylor Swift songs again. The first one is The Lakes, and the other one is called 7. And also, this was actually one of my ideas for the Sketchbook Ideas video. So if you want to find out what exactly that idea is, make sure to go and check that out. Now, this next, like, whaled drawing or painting is actually a landscape study that I did. So when you have, I don't know if guys know what Chromecast is, but basically it's like a device or something that you use to cast videos or stuff from your phone onto the TV, and they had this really beautiful background. I'm like, I need to like paint this, but this is not actually done in any kind of paint. It's actually, I used oil pastels because I have a whole 12 colors set that I think 24 that I didn't touch, and it's just kind of like sitting there. Oil pastels are something that a lot of people don't use like regularly, and I'm like, I need to use them at least once. So I just went ahead and did that little landscape. Now the next one is like an expression study, and I feel like I have a lot of studies in this sketchbook. I don't know, because like when you're a beginner or like even an intermediate level, or even if you're an expert, like I feel like doing studies from like time to time really helps you like improve your skill and just draw something and take it to the next level. Now what you see right here is what I did for the how to draw female characters video. It was like a tutorial, and I drew like 3 poses: the front view, the 3/4 view, and the sitting pose, which a lot of people don't know how to draw. So if you want to draw characters the way I do, make sure to go check out that tutorial. I hope it helps you. Now this is like a guilty pleasure drawing that I did before my finals, because I was like, I don't want to prepare too much. OMG, like this next page is like my number one favorite. Like I just love it so much, like the color scheme and like the outfit and like the way she turned out, all that glitter, a bit of sadness in it, and like the pose, and like even the swatches on the other side of the page is like just like I just love it so much, because like I don't know, it's just something, it's kind of like an expression of so many ideas and feelings I've wanted to express. And this is also like a bit emotional because I made this for the I'm taking a break / goodbye video. So yeah, you can check that out if you want to. And this is actually for another video that I made recently called, like, I was using highlighters to color it in, and that turned out pretty fun. Like, it was much more fun than expected. And that last page was a Halloween inspired page that I posted as shorts on. Oh my god, so many videos, like so much art has been made for videos, and even this was done for shorts actually. And then that was basically like my official sketchbook pages. Now the rest is like whatever you see are like the pages that I leave or like have behind or like at the end of a sketchbook where I just have like no filter. I just like draw whatever. I do all my thumbnails, all my planning and all of that. And this one is actually a little landscape that I configured in my head for an art contest, and I actually ended up winning first prize for pencil drawing. That was like the first time I won an art contest like ever in my life, and I was like so ecstatic, and I was like, my hard work is finally paying off. And that's another page with Minnie Mouse and Daisy Duck that's so cursed. Like, that was also a prepping for an art contest. A random skeleton again, Olivia Rodrigo, random doodles, Taylor Swift because I'm a Swiftie, and another little fun doodle and it's like a flower head again, and it's based off like a festival that we celebrate, and another random doodle. So a tip that I would like to give you guys is like, if you struggle with like being yourself or like just drawing whatever in your sketchbook, or like starting it and being afraid to draw on like the first few pages, I would just recommend you go to that, the absolute end or like those last few pages and just draw whatever. Just be yourself, and once you like feel comfortable with the sketchbook, you can draw on those first few pages. Now this page is like one of those pages I was just like having fun and like drawing just random kind of like faces inspired by Chris Hong art, and just kind of experimenting with my art style and just kind of doing whatever. And then this last page is like just filled with swatches and random stuff, and then also like a letter that I wanted to like say in a video but I never did. But that was basically the end of this sketchbook tour, and if you liked at least one drawing or one sketchbook spread, make sure to like this video and subscribe if you're interested in seeing more of my art journey and the little tips that I'm giving. I tend to post maybe once or twice in a month, or just randomly based on how busy that year or that week is. But anyway, I have been working on a video where I'm starting my new sketchbook and drawing on the first page. Here are some glimpses from that video. It's still being edited and stuff, so make sure to turn on those notifications so that you don't miss out. And until next time, bye!